guys, welcome to the Treasury Update Podcast Coffee Break Session, the show where we cover foundational Treasury topics and questions in about the same amount of time it takes you to drink your coffee. This is your host, Alexa, and I'm joined today with Craig Jeffery, Managing Partner of Strategic Treasurer. Welcome back, Craig.
Thanks, Alexa.
Yeah, so today we're going to cover what is RTP, and I will admit, when I was originally writing this up, my Google result of RTP was not the actual topic today. So maybe you could just start us off with what is RTP? What does RTP stand for?
Well, I think we're talking about real-time payments offered through the clearinghouse. So I'm going to go with that one. I mean, acronyms are always a bit of a challenge. But yeah, real-time payments are credit push payments. It's one of the newest payment rails. And it's been a long time since there's been new payment rails offered in the U.S. And it's through the clearinghouse. And there's more than 150 financial institutions using it. And RTP payments are, like I said, credit payments. They're credit push. You send payments, and the limit is currently $100,000 US.
Since this is a newer type of payment, what are some of the advantages of using RTP?
A lot of the payment systems, whether you think about card, even check, the automated clearinghouse or ACH, or several of the different wire system or real-time gross settlement systems that we have in the U.S. This is one of the newer ones. It seems like every country has one or more faster real-time instant payment platforms that exist. One of the key advantages is speed. It's faster. Availability of the funds is immediate, like a wire transfer, but it's also available 24/7. So it has this whole certainty aspect of it. So it's payment certain, it's immediately available, and it's available all the time. Now, there's a couple other enriched capabilities that come along with it as well, but that's a start. I can go into some of those other ones as well.
Yeah, or let's maybe jump to how Treasury departments are using it before we do a deeper dive.
There's two primary ways companies tend to be using this. One is for these urgent payments to oftentimes to consumers. The limit's $100,000, so it's not tiny. It's not $1,000 or $10,000, but it's not really up to snuff. If you need to send $10 million, you'd have to send quite a few separate RTPs to make that work. So for these urgent payments, they work well. It could be making a claims payment from an insurance company, or if you need to catch someone up for payroll, you wouldn't have to use a wire. You could use a real-time payment. So smaller fund movements work. That tends not to be a Treasury use, though Treasury may support that. But there are Treasury departments that are using it for cash mobilization, certain accounts that don't have huge sums in them, but they can use this to push money around to their concentration banks and accounts using this as part of their platform.
So then what are some of the other features or advantages really of using this newer platform?
Yeah, so we already mentioned it's available 24/7, which is a pretty significant change, versus these batch-oriented systems or overnight-oriented systems. So you think of the ACH network, that was always a batch overnight platform. Well, now there's same-day ACH, which I think now there's 4 windows a day where payments can be made. Still batch, same rails, certainly faster. It's multiple times a day, but RTP is, real-time, and this activity can occur, anytime, any day of the week. The other aspect that I think is worth noting, there's quite a few items. They refer to it as extensibility, and this is how you can include messaging functionality, messaging detail. When you're sending payments from a business standpoint, there's other information, business documents, as it were, that need to travel along with it. So this allows you to send bills or invoices, transaction details along with the payment, so they arrive together. So it's referred to as extensible. It the money comes with information. So value comes with valuable information. That's another key aspect of this real-time payment network. I think the other aspect is we don't have to wait because it's real-time, because it's 24/7. There's no, I've got to wait for this period of time before this other event or activity can be enacted. The original waterfall event from which all the other ones flow from. I don't have to wait. It comes in. We do the next step and the next step without this time delay or this float of time. I think that's really, really important for what we see in a new payment platform, and RTP meets I believe there's like 37 or 39 elements of a real-time or an instantaneous payment platform, and RTP has characteristics for all of those. So those are some of the biggest elements of RTP, and there's certainly value in moving funds faster, moving information with the value transfer. So everything from reconciliation to settlement to easing the friction in business activity.
That's great. I like the way that you put that, easing the friction. So then just to do a quick recap of it, RTP is real-time payments. It's a newer payment, platform that's run via the clearinghouse. It is only a credit push, and currently the limit's about 100,000, but it is 24 hours a day. So that's a newer piece of it.
Well, I think you summarized that well. The one thing I would add, particularly for those who may not be familiar with U.S. banking, in many countries, the central bank acts as the clearinghouse, whether it's for RTGS, wire payments, ACH, or the EFT type payments. These are oftentimes managed and cleared through the central bank. The U.S. has at least two payment settlement systems or messaging systems or platforms. Usually one is run through the Fed or through, one of the entities controlled by the Fed, the Federal Reserve. And then there's some, private type ownership owned by the banks. So the clearinghouse is, owned by member banks, and they do, image settlement, other types of activities. You can handle other types of transactions through the clearinghouse as a separate way of doing things. You can clear through Nacha. You can clear through the clearinghouse. You've got multiple ways of settling the same type of transactions, RTGS, wires, et cetera. And so this is not a alternative channel to a Fed platform. It's a new payment rail that they manage. And it's also interesting that the Fed is, rolling out Fed Now as another urgent, instantaneous payment mechanism and vehicle.
That's great. And it sounds like Fed Now might have to be another topic for us to discuss on this.
It is. We can do another one on same day ACH if we haven't covered that already, Alexa.
Yeah. That's great. Thanks for adding those on, Craig. And thanks for joining me today. And to all of our listeners, make sure you tune in every first and third Thursday of the month for a new coffee break session. And as always, we love hearing from you. So if you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, you can send us an email at podcast@strategictreasurer.com. Thanks again, Craig.